In this video, we're going to cover the updates to Point 11.0. First, we're going to put the housekeeping up with our legal disclaimer and give you just a minute to read through that before we proceed on with the presentation today. In Point 11.0, we've got some enhancements. I'm going to read through this enhancement list for you, and then we'll go into Point and show you where those are and how these new updates work. First on our enhancements, we have the Truth in Lending. We've added the temporary buy-down fee. That also goes into the loan estimate and the closing disclosure. The buy-down product will now be listed on those and show on the AP table and AIR table respectively. On the fees worksheet, we have added the temporary buy-down fee that does flow from that Truth in Lending screen, and we've also updated the cash deposit. If you do enter your earnest money onto the lender loan at page 2, it will flow over to your fees worksheet. That does go into the next enhancement that we have, the closing cost worksheet. We have the total estimated funds needed, the credits at the bottom. This will now flow over from the fees worksheet when you are clicking the copy from fees worksheet button. On the lender loan page 2, the adjustments for the FHA loans are now going to auto-populate over to the statutory requirements worksheet. And we have updated that FHA statutory worksheet requirements to match up with the new IRLA fields. An enhancement for Fannie Mae that we've made is that we've added a positive rental history checkbox and a condo project manager ID. We've also added 2 more areas where Cardex will be able to work for you: the company information for servicing and the investor loss payee. We've also added the ability to batch import the Fannie 3.4 files into your system. Zip, which is our online application. If you do get an application from Zip, it will now import the borrower's owned property into sections 2 and 3. And an added level of security for our e-signatures. The signer is going to get a verification text message. And we've also updated the form to support e-signatures for the 4506C form changes that are coming. We have several resolutions in this Point 11.0. First one is on our loan estimate. We have corrected the 5-year field when there is post-consummation fees. The anti-steering. Now when you create those different scenarios, the proposed monthly payment area on the borrower information screen will update. And the last 2 are dealing with Point Central and rules. First one is the custom screen will now display the actual name of the custom screen inside of the rule when you're building it. And the other is for the balloons, interest only and other descriptor is now able to be disabled inside a rule. I'm going to open up Point for us so we can walk through these, show you where they are inside of the system. First one is our Truth in Lending with our temporary buy-down. I'm going to go over to the left side of the screen with the forms and go to our Truth in Lending. And I'm going to scroll down. You can see our buy-down mortgage area here. You're first going to select the top drop-down and pick your buy-down. I'm going to select a 2-1 for our example. When you select that, below the rates will appear and a blank spot for the terms in months for you to enter. For our example, I'm going to enter 12 months in each of these. And right below that, in the temporary buy-down fee, a fee has appeared. When we go over to the fee worksheet, this is the fee that you'll be able to auto-populate into the origination section. If you click Calculate on the very bottom button, this will update your payment schedule. You can see in the payment schedule the drop in the interest rate with the buy-down and the number of those months. The next part of the buy-down is the Disclose LE and CD product. In this drop-down, you have 2 options. You have a step payment and a step rate. By choosing one of these, it will change what shows on the LE and the CD in the product line and on the AP or AIR table. Let me show you a step payment first. I'm going to go over to our loan estimate. First thing I want to note is in the top right area, the product. It is listed as a 2-year step payment and it is fixed. Below that, in our loan terms, you can see the monthly P&I. It has that it is adjusting, and that information is there. Nothing is noted inside the interest rate area. It also notes that the AP table will have details on it. So you can scroll down. The AP table is filled out with information on how the payment will change. The AIR table over on the right has no information filled out because the interest rate is not changing. I'm going to go back over to the Truth in Lending, and we're going to go through a step rate, what that looks like. I'm going to change from a step payment here to my step rate, and then we're going to go back over to our loan estimate. Again, our product in the top right, this now says a 0-1 step rate. In the loan terms section right below, you can see the interest rate area has adjustments as well as the payment area. And this one notes that there is information on the AIR table. So again, we'll scroll down. And we can see on the AP table on the left, we have no straight down. The payment is not changing. But we do have the information on the AIR table noting the changes in the interest rate. And go back over to our Truth in Lending and our buy down area. When we selected our buy down program and entered our terms for months, it automatically calculated our buy down fee here. Now this buy down fee will be on the fee worksheet for you to select as an option. So we're going to go over to the fee worksheet and show you how you can get that fee onto your origination section. Fee worksheet on the left. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit till we're in section 1, the origination. I'm going to click on one of those blank lines that we've got below wire transfer. And if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, we now have a temporary buy down / admin fee. If I select this and then push tab or get into another field, you can see that 3993, that was our buy down fee from the Truth in Lending screen, now automatically populates over from that screen. So that allows you to easily put that into your fee worksheet and to easily mark who it's paid by. Another part that we have inside of the fee worksheet is now the cash deposit is going to flow from our loan application and our lender loan information page 2. I'm going to go up and first enter in some earnest money, and then we'll come back to the fees worksheet and see how that flows over. So I'm going to go into lender loan information page 2. And over on the right, that white box, I'm going to click add. From my drop down, I'm going to select earnest money and I'll put $1,000 in here. Let's toggle back over to the fee worksheet so we can see the flow of this earnest money. It's going to be at the bottom. You can see under the lender and seller credits, we now have that cash deposit box in gray, and it is pulling that $1,000 over from what we've entered on the lender loan information page 2. This is going to flow over to your payoff and adjustments and to your LE. So this does cut out several steps for you needing to make sure that it gets from your fee worksheet over to your loan estimate. So you used to go to your payoff and adjustments and have to add it here. You can see up at the top here it is grayed out because it is automatically pulling that over now. And now over to our loan estimate. And we'll scroll down. You can see in our calculating cash to close, we have our deposit of $1,000. Now this deposit is flowing from application to your fee worksheet to your loan estimate. Also updated to allow it to flow to the CD as well. So whenever you're filling out your fees for your CD, you always have to go to your closing cost worksheet first. So let's go to that closing cost worksheet on the left. And up top, that copy from fees worksheet button, we're going to click that. That's going to bring our fees over from the fee worksheet. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. This is where we can see that earnest money and other credits. In our total estimated funds needed to close here, you can see that first line, our cash deposit has that $1,000 that's transferred over from our fee worksheet. We have set these 3 inside of the closing cost worksheet as defaults, so these will automatically pull over from your fee worksheet. Now, if you do have other things typed in instead of this order, Point is not going to override those. It will leave those in place for you. So from your closing cost worksheet here, I want to show you that it does transfer on to your closing disclosure. So I'm going to go down to the closing disclosure tab down at the bottom. And then to page 3. You can see up top in my calculating cash to close, it shows my deposit from my LE and from my final, so that's my CD. And if you scroll down, you can also see the deposit showing inside of letter L. Another update is back over on the lender loan information page 2. So I'm going to go back there. Again, it's under the credits area, so I'm going to click Add. And this time we're going to select an energy efficient mortgage improvements. This is associated with the FHA loans. So if we put that in there, give a 5,000. This credit is now going to flow over to our FHA statutory requirements worksheet, and it matches up with our new IRLA. So let me go over to that form real quick for us and show you that that credit does flow over. And you can see the CC adjustments for FHA, that 5,000, that is what is now automatically flowing over from that lender loan page 2. We have an update as well for Fannie Mae Fields. I'm going to go over to our application, click section 1 here, and down to our address. In the current address, we now have below the state line, we have a positive rental history checkbox now. So if you do select the rent box, that will ungray and allow you to select that box. And we've also added a condo project manager ID. That's going to be on our Fannie Mae addendum area. You can see in the project area, we now have a project manager ID area to allow you to put that information in. For our Cardex updates, we've added 2 areas where you can now use the Cardex to help speed up the process of filling out forms. These are going to be under our banker and shipping. We now have added the servicing information and the investor loss payee. You can see beside both of these in the company, it has an icon of a circle underlined. This is allowing you to now use Cardex in these fields. You would click inside the field and go up to Utilities and select Cardex. And that would then allow you to select any company that you had currently in your Cardex database. We've also added the ability to batch import Fannie 3.4 XML files. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to get out of this loan section and go to the bottom left under the templates area. From the categories menu on the left, you're going to select the data import and click new up at the top. The top drop down, the import format. From there, you're going to select the Fannie 3.4. Below that, you're going to click on the batch import button. Inside the middle box, you have a choice of where you would like to generate the files. You can select prospect or borrower. I'm going to choose borrower for our example. We've added a browse button to allow you to find your files easier that you want to import. So I'm going to click on the browse, and I know I've got my 2 Fannie Mae files on my desktop. So I'm going to highlight that and click OK. And now the Start Import button is ungrayed. So I'm going to select that, and it is going to start importing my files for me. It's important to note that to use this batch import, you will have to have auto file naming set up in your system. If you are using standalone Point, you can find that under your Utilities menu and auto file naming. If this is grayed out, it probably means that you are on Point Central. In that case, you would need to log on to your Point Central URL and update it there. Let me go take us back into our loan. Some of our resolutions that we've got for this release is we've updated on the loan estimate, the 5-year field, when including the post-consummation fees. I'm going to first go over to our loan estimate here, so we can view the in 5 years comparison here. You can see the loan cost here is at $64,000. Let's go over to our fee worksheet and add in some post-consummation fees. Down at the bottom, there is a tab for post-consummation fees. I'm going to click on that and add in just a general fee here of $10,000. I'm going to click OK, and then we can go back over to our loan estimate. Back down to our 5-year comparison. You can see our loan cost here has now increased by the $10,000. So this was a resolution that we have in Point 11.0. Our other is on our anti-steering screen. So I'm going to go over to our anti-steering screen just to show you what has been updated here. So our anti-steering disclosure, and then I'm going to create a scenario and click Edit. What has been updated is I'm going to scroll down. On the borrower's information screen, this proposed monthly payment for property, this chart here, if you have items such as your homeowner's insurance, property taxes, anything that has a rate or information entered into it, it will now update when you are updating each of your scenarios in that anti-steering disclosures. And the last 2 resolutions that we have to deal with the Point Central rules, but how they are inside of Point. The first one is the display name for the custom screen has been added to the rule notification. I'm going to click Save and trigger my rule so you can see that. Up in that top right corner, you have the field notification, and it has Custom Screen 1, Test, Field 1 cannot be blank. I named my first custom screen Test, and it is telling us that it is our first custom screen. So this is going to allow your users to be able to find where that required field is more easily. Second one is we've added these fields so you can disable those inside of rules. Those are going to be on our lender loan information page 1. I'm going to scroll down. We have added in the balloon months, interest-only months, and this other descriptor months. These are now added to your rules and now can be disabled inside of a rule. you have any questions, please reach out to our dedicated customer service at 1-800-342-2599.